Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, trader Steve here at Logic FX Trading, and welcome to our trading room recording. Oh, sorry, this is a trading room summary. We've already done the recording. This is a summary on Wednesday, the 15th of April 2020. Okay, guys, as I said yesterday, we'll probably see a bit of a push on up on these, but I'm now starting to look for a pullback. There's an awful lot of concern out there for the damage that's being done to the world economy and obviously to individual economies and individual companies for me to call that to continue to go up. So do I think it'll be up there at some point in the future? Yes, obviously. Perhaps even later in the year, guys, but I don't think these are going to just continue to run like that. Now, I'm the first person to hold my hands up and admit when I get things wrong. Earlier last year, not in this chart, Dow Jones, when we got that dip, guys, I did quite an extensive analysis of this, of the 10-year push up from back down here from the previous correction. And once we'd got this, in fact, when we got to the double top there, I called it short. I thought it would break that bottom. It went a little bit further than I expected. But then as we come up here, and I was just discussing this today in the trading room, I had been saying, guys, this needs to correct before we can trade it long. It needs to correct before we can trade it long. Because whenever you look at that on the daily time scale, that had moved too far for that to be, in my opinion, to be a big enough correction of the move up that we'd had. And in actual fact, the move up was from way back here, guys. Actually, that was only a little correction on the way up. There was the move there from the last big crash, which was the credit crunch 2008 2009. We had that bear market, guys, and then it kept going up and up and up, and I'd counted this and I kind of went, so 1 2 3 4 5 counting Elliott waves. And I said that that correction wasn't big enough to correct that whole move up. That whole move, that little correction wasn't big enough. So what I was looking for at the time was, with this pullback, I thought we'll get another move maybe down into that level, and then from there we'll start to go. But it kept going and going and going and going and going, and each time it came, you can see the arrow in there, I kept saying, guys, this is going to go short, this is going to go short, this is going to go short. And once it broke that top, I actually said, you know what, guys, I'm wrong. This is broken out of this structure. I just can't fathom it. Everything's way overvalued. I don't understand what's going on here. And then we got that. Bang. So we're round about where we thought we could have been, and we're coming up again. Now, I'm going to say the same thing here as I was saying back there. Be very wary of continuing to trade this up without some sort of correction, at least some sort of correction like that. And it could well be that we go into a bear market for the next year or so, guys, before it starts to really recover. I don't know if that's going to happen, but we need to be aware that that's what you can get when you get an economic, a world's recession. That's the word. Like that, where initially you got your drawdown, and then everyone started thinking it was going to go. We got another drawdown. Everybody thought it was going to go. We got another one that thought it was going to go, and it just kept going. And then finally, it started to recover. Now, I don't know if we're going to get a series of drops, guys, but I'd be very wary, because if you look at that point, remember, these are all relative, guys. The moves look bigger on the chart where we are at the moment, but we're off a bigger base, if you understand what I mean. If you look at this, that come up 61.8%, guys, before it dropped again. And if we go back to where we are, and we look at this, maybe let's say 4 hours, top to bottom, 50%. It's a big rise over a very short period of time. So if we're going to go into recession, this will continue to fall from here, guys. And if it's just the lockdown, it's over and everything's back to normal, then prices will continue to rise. But I doubt that that's going to be the case, guys. It could be, but I never trade unless I'm, I think, yeah, there's a high probability that that thing will happen. I'm not suggesting you try and trade it down. I'm just saying be very wary of continuing to trade it long. Let's go back to, and it's the same for the rest of them. That's not what I'm suggesting is going to happen. What I had been calling, and we need to go down to the 1 hour to see this. We have a little pullback there, guys. We have a pullback there. We have a pullback there. 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 And obviously the S&P isn't open at the moment, but it will open down, and so will the Dow Jones. Now, are those little pullbacks, which have all happened at the same time in the same day, is that going to develop into something back down again, or is it just going to be a pullback back into trend and then off we go? We don't know that yet, but as that develops, we'll have a closer look at it over the next few days. And as we get into next week, I think we'll know whether we're continuing long or whether we're going to look at a deeper pullback, guys. Okay, so that's the stock market. So I'm suggesting you don't trade those. Unless you're already in something, guys, get your stops to zero, and if it keeps going up, happy days. So far as the dollar is concerned, I was saying yesterday that this, for me, looks like it wants to go long. I'm not suggesting it's going to go back up there, but the dollar as a safe haven could end up staying up and around here, guys. We could end up back in the situation we were in prior to all of this happening, which was the dollar, let me just get it in, the dollar moving like this and then correcting itself, correcting, moving up, correcting, moving up, correcting, moving up. And then we had the madness, and are we now going to end up back in the situation where it drops, pushes up, drops, pushes up, or maybe the other way, pushes down, pushes up, pushes down, pushes up, pushes down, pushes up. It could come down like that, guys, but I don't think it's going to just do something like that. It's not going to move in the opposite way here, back down again. What I had said, and any of you who we're in 8 minutes, need to hurry up here a wee bit, guys. I want to talk about oil still. Let's just have a quick look at this. What I had said with this, just from a structural point of view, from an Elliott wave point of view, certainly we could get a zigzag down to there before it pulls off, but I don't think that's going to happen, guys. I think this little turn here could be the start of a push back up in the dollar, maybe up into that region. I wouldn't want to say any further. When we get to that area, I'll give you another opinion, but in the meantime, we could be looking at that pushing up to there, folks, which obviously then you plug into the euro, which means the euro dropping, the pound, which means the pound pulling back, the Aussie, we're already starting to get the pull back there, and then maybe we end up with some sort of trend on the way up there, but certainly you'd like to see it dropping back down into some sort of trend line. And if it comes any deeper, then obviously we have to think about it again. The New Zealand's doing the same thing, the CAD's doing the same thing, but obviously in the opposite direction. Oil's continued to fall, guys. I warned about that yesterday. I said don't be trying to trade the CAD long because oil's dropping. We have to see if it's going to drop break the $20 mark. We'll have a look at that chart in a moment when we finish looking at these. In fact, let's go over and look at that now. Just a quick one, South African Rand, it started moving up yesterday, and I said it would come back up to the top there. Still think that that's on. I think that's on. Whether you jump in here or whether you wait for another little pullback before it goes is up to yourselves. But I do think it'll get to there, and I actually think it'll even break that top it could get up as far as there, guys. I think South Africans are going to be hammered by this shutdown. Oil. Well, there's oil coming down. There is the previous low. Hasn't broken it yet. I've set a little alarm, not because I want to trade it down, but just to let me know, hey, this is continuing on down. It could get as low as $10. I'm not suggesting it will, but I'm saying it could get down to $10. Reason being that that's where it's bounced off before, guys. Maybe we've got to go into the weeks to see it. Let's go into 1 week. There, see it bouncing there, guys. That's $10, $9.27 actually. So, and we're not too far off that actually at the moment. So it could well push on down to there. But if it did get to there, then I'd quite confidently start trading it back up. I don't want it to get to there, guys. But if it did get to there, I'd be happy enough. The only reason I don't want to get it there is because I am long in a CAD trade that I got into last week, and I'm losing money on it. Not a lot of money. It was a very small trade, but I am losing money on it at the moment. But we could see something like that. Maybe not directly down like that, guys, but certainly, you know, we could see something like that down into the $10 area, and then from there I'd very confidently trade it long. But we'll see how that pans out. And then obviously the ruble's going to take a beating of that oil continuing to drop, and there's a little move up on it. The CAD, as we already said, there's a move up underneath all of that scribbling, and obviously then the CAD against the likes of the yen and the Swiss will be dropping. But now I was looking for a pullback maybe into this trend, because what we were looking at here was, we were saying, well, it's broken that, so I don't think we're going to range in there, the fact that it broken it. So then I put that line in, and I said, well, maybe if we come back to that line, then we could trade from there. We'll have to see if it pushes down any further, guys. If it pushes further, I'm going to be concerned, because then it could end up coming back down to here, and the range is there, which is alright, because if it comes to there, then we trade it back up. It's just if you're in any long trades from here, you may well end up getting stopped out before that happens. But let's just see if it falters and starts coming long. If the oil price doesn't break the $20 and starts coming up, then we'll see that continuing to come up, and it will be the same throughout the CAD trades. Sorry, I'm not trading that one. We were actually expecting this to pull back down, because we were expecting the CAD to strengthen up a bit. It's still doing that, but I'm not convinced that it's going to get all the way down to there. And CAD yen was the one that I am in, that I probably got in at the wrong place with it, guys. Let's just clean this, and then that'll finish us for today. Sorry, all this is left over from the trading room, folks. Yeah, it's coming down. I'm hoping that it's not one of those leading diagonals, or whatever you want to call it, where it ends up, you know, coming away down here before it goes long again. Because if that happens, I'm going to get stopped out. But I'm hoping that it's just a pullback, maybe back into this trend, and it's going up in a diagonal. I'm hoping that's the case. And therefore, if it turns here and starts coming up, then I would recommend trading that up, and this CAD Swiss as well. But only if the oil price holds, folks. Let's have a quick look at CAD Swiss, and then that'll do us. Quick clean of that. Sorry, I should clean these up before I do the summary. The only thing is with not cleaning them up, guys, is that sometimes the drawings that are there are important for us to have a look at. So yet again with this one, I'm hoping that it stalls in there. Not necessarily bang on the line, guys. That's not how it works. But it could, you know, push down a little bit more and then start to continue in that trend. That's what I'm hoping for in there, guys. Okay, that'll do us for today. That's a little bit longer than we normally do. Speak to you all again tomorrow. And good luck with your trading, guys. Bye for now.